Lake of the Ozarks, August the 23rd. Team Qatar attempt a new speed record. 100.584 meters every second, in the blink of an eyelid. Target 225. An audacious bid to set a new speed record in a breed of propeller-driven offshore powerboat. So technically challenging, it requires 2 onboard crewmen to control it. No brakes, at a speed where little of the boat is ever in contact with the water. Just one of the 5 blades of each propeller immersed at any one time. Flying machines at the mercy of many things, a small wash, wake or unexpected gust of wind, and they can take off like an aeroplane. To enable the Qatar boat to reach its goal, every element must come together in unison, meteorologically, mechanically, and mentally.
This boat was originally developed for these speeds. We originally designed the boat for 225 miles an hour, which My Way almost achieved last year. We've done scale models on this boat that, if you scale it up, it's excess of 300 miles an hour and it's still pretty stable. So, we'll see what it does today. This is the most powerful Mystic we've ever had at the shootout. So it should be interesting. I mean, they're approaching, 40-50% more horsepower than My Way had, so it should be quite a ride.
Driven by 2 Lycoming T55 gas turbine engines, as fitted in a Chinook helicopter.
It's about 100 degrees today, so the engines will derate a little bit, but they're still going to produce over 4,000 horsepower peak power. How much power they're going to actually use to obtain the speed that they're wanting to obtain, we don't know yet, so we'll find that out tomorrow, but power's not going to be an issue. This particular engine is ready to roll. They've come right off the test cell, and all the checks are good, so we're just ready to run.
Exact monitoring is carried out by British-based Cosworth Electronics.
The system on this boat was actually developed for Formula One. It's still used within Formula One by some teams. And then the dashboards were developed for endurance-style racing, like Le Mans. So the system is watching everything on the engines, pretty much. It's checking the general health of the engine, it checks the performance of the engine, and it's checking the balance between the 2 engines. And then it displays that data for me and the team, and we can interpret that and look at what needs changing, improving, tweaking. And this screen is kind of a one-stop shop for the engine's health at the moment. There are several screens along here. I'll take you through a couple of them. So the performance one, this is the one the drivers are most interested in. This is looking at how much power the engine's making, the sort of speeds that the boat's achieving, and how quickly it's managing to do that. The one I'm most interested in would be something like this, which is the diagnostic screen. This is looking at any faults that are occurring. It looks at discrepancies between the 2 engines to make sure they're still balanced and running correctly. Something the team are interested in at the moment is looking at the pressure difference between ambient and what's happening in the engine rooms. So this screen here is showing a considerable drop in engine room pressure at full speed. And that's something that if we can rectify that problem, it will give us a little bit more power once the boat is reaching those sorts of speeds.
Powerboat ace Steve Curtis is throttle man for the record attempt. He oversees modifications to stop the boat from literally taking off and crashing.
We've done a lot of work on the boat as well. The hull shape is different. Because we're going so fast, we've had to make the boat run very flat. So we've got, different bottom shapes on it to make it run very flat. We've also got a wing at the front of the boat, which controls the airspeed like a plane at over 200 miles an hour. And we've got parachutes at the back to slow us down. If we start to go too fast or the boat starts to flip, we can hit the parachutes and that will slow the boat down.
The crucial role of driver falls to Sheikh Hassan Al Thani, a man born to push the envelope wherever that may take him.
When we first created this boat, one of the objectives was to run some record runs. And we've heard about the Lake of the Ozark and how big it is for the locals. We've seen a similar boat do the same run from 2010 onward. And last year when they've raised the bar higher, we said, okay, now we have a target that we can work against, and that's when we started rebuilding the whole thing to set up for the Lake of the Ozarks. We've done some modifications on the hull to make the boat ride better on flat conditions. The engines, of course, these are bigger engines than that we've run last year. The gearboxes are different, the drive line is different, the weight of the boat is different. It's not like the boat that we ran last year, except because of the paint. Now I can tell you, I'm all excited. I really need to be in the boat and do the run. But it will be a different feeling afterwards, once we exit the gate at above 224.
And not altogether in at the deep end. In 2011, he established an impressive new Guinness speed record for a powerboat racing between Abu Dhabi and Doha. Then he used an open cockpit turbine-powered boat, and the average speed was a mere 100 plus. This time, he and Curtis are protected by a fully enclosed safety cell, based on designs from an F-14 fighter jet. Even so, there's no knowing whether even that would guarantee protection should everything go wrong at over 200 miles per hour. In the boat shed, it's been a stressful day. Robbie and the crew have struggled with technical elements in both steering and engines. Nothing hides their anxieties, but no more can be done. Tomorrow is for real. Saturday starts early for everyone. By 8 a.m, the boat is on the dock following a test run. Final checks are made and tension is building. Target 225. Looming.
Everything looked great. The boat ran smooth just where we taxied it over here from where we craned in. The Sheik and Steve both said everything's working perfectly, so we're all ready. We're just ready and waiting.
Tom has also made his final checks.
One of the sensors on the engine that detects a chip of metal within the engine, that was a bit loose and was giving erroneous readings, but that's been sorted now. And a GPS issue which should be resolved as well.
So you pressed your final button?
From my point of view, yep. Hopefully I'm done.
Palpable pressure though, as countdown closes. This entire event is totally remarkable, reckoned to be the biggest annual gathering of performance boats anywhere in the world. It attracts a variety of classes, from Qatar's massive turbine all the way down to a much more modest craft.
This is a Playcraft pontoon boat. It's a triple log boat, and it's got an inboard-outboard engine. They used to be called party barges, and they were just known to float out, and they've just stepped it up, and now the speed and performance, they're just wonderful boats.
Actually looks like tremendous fun. How fast does it go, flat out?
The speed was 67 miles an hour.
Wow.
Which is great for a pontoon boat. This boat was made for rough water. So, and this is the boat's testing ground right here at Lake of the Ozarks.
Got to be a little bit dangerous, though, isn't it?
I guess. I don't think it is. I haven't had a wreck so far, knock on wood.
Everyone joins in. Everyone has fun.
This is the 26th year for the shootout, and we're expecting huge crowds this weekend, up to 100,000 people for the event. We're hoping we'll have around 100 boats that are competing for different awards and class champions, and of course the Top Gun is what, that's the big prize for the weekend. We have estimated in the past that we have had up to 8,000 to 9,000 boats on the water, tied up together in a 3.5 mile stretch on one day. So it is an amazing fleet out there, and what they'll do is not only line up for 3.5 miles, but there might be 2 or 3 or even 4 rows of boats tied up for that 3.5 miles. So it's a spectacular scene.
Just simply mind-blowing. And now, back on the pontoon, it's Team Qatar's turn. Everything as ready as it can be.
It's a lot of sitting out in the hot sun, waiting to get a run. So I'm sure it's a lot more exciting for people chilling out and swimming and cooling off and having a good time. But it's exciting running the boat for sure. I'm running John Roth's boat. It's a 388 skater with engines built by Carson Brumett, making really big power. And we just did a run, 194. I've tested this boat at 200 miles an hour before, about a year ago out in Lake Havasu. A lot of times what I worry about at those speeds at 190, 200 miles an hour is maybe a catastrophic mechanical failure. Something that would cause the boat to hook or something like that, you know, but I've lost propeller blades, lost engines at high speed, and usually they come back around. And that boat with the rudder, I mean, I think they'll have good control of it no matter what happens. I think they'll lay down a good number.
And JT isn't the only one who believes this might just be Hassan's day.
You know, with the amount of horsepower they have in it, you know, knowing how the boat ran up in that range, and you know, and honestly, after seeing My Way do the 223 and then actually go back out to the course to try to go faster, you could see the confidence they had in the boat to actually go faster with it. You know, they didn't for various reasons, but you know, they were comfortable enough to go back out and you know, bump it up over 223, you know, maybe 230 or so. So I think they definitely have the potential to do it. They have the team to do it, and they have the boat to do it. So we'll see.
Yes, I'm positive. I think if we don't got any mechanical issue, we got the material, the equipment to do it. So I'm pretty sure we got the opportunity, we got a chance.
We spent all day yesterday just double checking, triple checking everything in and out, but we're prepared. So it's time for the two guys in the boat to do their job now.
You know, I'm from the show me state. I'm from Missouri, and so you kind of got to show me what he can do. But all indications are that he certainly has the crew, he certainly has the boat to break the record at 224, and everybody here is excited to see what he can do.
It's gonna be a big relief for me.
No one, however, should underestimate the risks of driving a 4-ton offshore powerboat at over 225 miles an hour. Uncharted territory, through a start gate, down a drag strip full throttle and through the finish gate at a speed never achieved by this category of boat. The moment of truth. It's hammer down, but then, after the perfect start, things start to go wrong. The parachutes installed for their well-being become their nightmare. They deploy unexpectedly. Unaware quite what is happening, Hassan keeps the gyrating cat in a straight line, while Curtis on throttles battles to keep it under control. And relief as they make it to safety.
Well, the chutes are gone now.
Must be a malfunction somewhere, or yeah. I mean, it's the first time we tested on the boat. You know, they're made for drag cars, and yeah.
The replay shows exactly how disastrous the situation might have become. After a slick start and approaching 200 miles an hour, the parachutes release one at a time. Anxious seconds as the weaving craft is restrained until, eventually, one at a time, the chutes break free again, and safety is secured. So, all things considered, 210 miles per hour is quite remarkable. Returning to the dock, Hassan and Curtis remain coolly pragmatic.
Had the parachute did not fail, I think we would have probably nailed it from first go. But we'll get things done, fixed, and probably do another run in the afternoon.
One team, however, is not so fortunate. Following them down the drag strip, Mike Fiore and Joel Beggin, OuterLimits, catch a sudden gust of breeze and crash heavily. They are transferred to hospital with serious injuries, a stark reminder of the dangers. As the afternoon progresses, and with encouraging news from the hospital regarding the OuterLimits crew, organisers decide to resume racing. Team Qatar will make a second attempt, but the mood is apprehensive. My Way hold the record at 224 miles an hour. but took numerous attempts at it before reaching their goal last year. For Qatar, their second shot at 2:25. Here they go. No parachutes to get in their way this time. But an acceleration force of 2.6 G on the crew when alarmingly the boat starts to porpoise. As one, they must hold it together. Precision exacted by two men with nerves of steel, but will that alone be enough? Oh yes, it is an unbelievable 244 miles per hour. Euphoria. From 40 miles an hour to 244, 390.4 kilometers an hour in just over 20 seconds. Bouncing through the power curve, throttles must remain open. Critically balanced just below the point of takeoff is no place for panic. Only those that have been there before can possibly know how completely terrifying such moments are. Unsurprisingly, the welcome back at the pontoon echoes both relief and jubilation.
I was going crazy reading the GPS reading so I can make sure that I've seen the number. And as soon as we saw the 244 and then we got on the exit, I said, that's it, we're done. We're done for the day. It was like amazing run. I've never felt so safe in my entire life at that rated speed. I mean, the guys did a wonderful, wonderful job. I mean, all those 24/7 hours working, late night, getting the thing done. Pete getting the, the transmission in, or the gearboxes in. It was like a nightmare to take out. Now I have nothing on my shoulder. I can go home and sleep.
When you're going that fast, you know you're going that fast. And the guys have done an incredible job on the boat, years of constantly working on this boat, dialing it in, getting it together. Robbie, crew chief, done a fantastic job for us. And so, yeah, we're just so happy.
Charismatic moments enjoyed by a magical man and his emotional crew chief.
We did it.
A bit emotional?
Oh yeah, big emotion. You can feel my voice probably. Yeah, it's been really, really big emotion. Trust me.
Okay.
Really.
Good job, Robbie.
Thanks.
One final time, 244 miles an hour, 109.077 meters a second. Difficult to get that into perspective? Look at it this way. The length of a football pitch is a mere 100.
We are really proud of this run. We are proud of the Excellency Sheikh Hassan. We are proud with all the teams, with the crew, with Steve, with everybody, every single man who's working this. Let's make it happen. We are really proud of it and for the country as well.
And never more deserved. From me, Peter Butler. See you next time.